Hey guys, Monica Lopez here, and welcome to day 3 of our Push 2.0 group. The topic we have at hand today is the customer to coach conversion. And I think it's a really great follow-up to everything Becky talked about yesterday when she talked about announcing challenge groups, because she helped us do two things. One, identify and target who our ideal customer is. And two, how to get out there and really be open and vulnerable in sharing who we are, what our life is like, what our strengths are, our weaknesses, our struggles, so that people can connect and align with us. And so the next step to that is, well, okay, great. We've got these people connecting and aligning, and they're inspired by who we are. Now that they're ready to join us, what can we do at the challenge group level to help groom and plant seeds for them to be the next possible coach on our team? Because that is the end game. The end game is to build a team of coaches. Building a team of coaches is going to get you to that diamond rank that you want to achieve in the next 5 weeks. It's what's going to help you hit those financial goals you've set out for yourself. It's what's going to help you maybe hit the business goals that you would like. Maybe it's to be a premier coach or an elite coach, or attend the next new leadership conference, or be at the next Success Club trip. Whatever the case may be, the bottom line is that you need to begin to build a team of coaches to hit all those goals and milestones. And so what I want to talk about today is how you can begin to do that at the challenge group level once people decide to join you, even at the fitness level. Let me screen share for 1 second here, because I've put together this slideshow to help me tell you a little bit about the customer to coach conversion. Okay, so first and foremost, I think the one question I usually get, the common question is, well, what if I have somebody that wants to sign up as a coach right away? They've never drank Shakeology. They've never been a part of my challenge group. They've never completed a program. Is this wrong? Am I setting them up for failure? Are they going to be unsuccessful? And the answer is absolutely not. Many people come into the business because they were recruited with the business, whether it's because we posted pictures of us at a Super Saturday and they were really interested in that live workout with a celebrity trainer and 500 of your other closest friends. Or maybe it was that credit card bill that you were able to pay off that's been hanging over your head for months, and you were able to eliminate that debt because of your income with this business. Maybe it's because you quit your job. Maybe it's because you just earned yourself a free vacation. You haven't been on vacation for 3 years. Whatever the case may be, because we are so good at going out there and opening ourselves and being vulnerable and sharing about our life as a coach, we can just as easily attract people through the leading with the business. And so that's completely okay. And tomorrow, Katie Green is really going to hone in on this and explain to you guys ways to do this through sneak peeks, happy hours, business opportunity webinars. But today, what I want to tackle and really focus on is leading with fitness, because a sure shot way to have the next coach on your team is through your challenge group. And for me, in the last 5 years, what I feel is that usually the easier coaches to work with are the ones that come out of my challenge groups. Not because they're any better equipped or they are smarter or any of that when you're thinking it. I don't mean it in that way. I mean it because at the challenge group setting, they're already beginning to bleed Beachbody blue once they come out. And what does that mean? Well, in the challenge group, they're already drinking Shakeology once a day. They're already getting in their workout and pushing play once a day. They're already getting their daily dose of PD, right? Because I implement that in my challenge group. So they already have 2 of the 3 vital behaviors happening within the challenge group setting way before they're even a coach, okay? And so with that, I feel like the learning curve is a lot less, because all I got to teach them from thereafter is how to begin to invite. And naturally, they're already getting results. So I'm sure they have friends, family, coworkers, all the people around them asking them, what are you doing? You look really great. I want to do that too. And so they're already naturally in becoming a coach or setting themselves up to become one. Second thing that I realized out of my customers that come out of my challenge group and become a coach is that a relationship is already established. They feel comfortable with me. They've been in a setting with me for a couple of weeks where they have instant access to me. We talk once a day through the challenge group. And I've begin to build a relationship with them. Becky talked about this yesterday, and I want to reiterate that yes, relationship building is key in this business. It's what's going to build your retention rate. It's what's going to keep people loyal to what you're doing. You are the value in this business. And so when you can effectively build a relationship with your challengers and really get to know them, really get to understand how you can help them, that's going to be your leverage in keeping them around. And so we're definitely not a business where you're going to make a quick buck and walk away and feel like, okay, everything's good and have a sustainable business. That's not it. In fact, the way to sustain this business is to really get in there and build relationships, because we represent selling a challenge pack to someone and sticking around thereafter, where our job begins with the sale of that challenge pack. We are there to support them thereafter and be their accountability partner and provide them with tools to succeed with their fitness program and Shakeology and nutritional plan. And so I feel like once it takes it to the next step of possibly being the next coach in your team, they already feel comfortable with you and they trust you. And so that's a really big thing to establish from or very early on, where there's that sense of trust. And the third thing is that they're already exposed to the culture of coaching, right? Because the same culture that happens within our team page, maybe in Diesel Nation that you see happening, or in your uplines team page, there's already a culture of support, positivity, recognition, motivation. Those things, if you replicate them in the challenge group setting, once that customer becomes a coach, they're going to feel like they picked up right where they left off. They're going to feel like, okay, this is familiar. I get this culture. Everybody is inviting. Everybody is working together, just like in my challenge group. And so they're already exposed to what it's all about. And I feel like that's what really makes the difference and makes them feel comfortable in taking off with their business. A lot of times I hear from coaches that want to share their business opportunity, but they feel a little shy about it, or they feel like maybe they're going to come off as sleazy and salesy, and they kind of shy away from it because of that. My answer to that, honestly, is that if you feel that way, you haven't been relationship building. Because when you present someone with the opportunity to become a coach, you first and foremost have to have conviction behind that. You have to believe that you're providing them with something that's going to bring them value. And it is indeed an opportunity that can change their life. And in turn, if that relationship with them is built, they're going to take that as a sign of you, A, wanting to continue to work with them, B, you being someone that's been consistent so far with them, and C, someone that they trust. And the natural progression is going to be that they're going to want to continue working with you. They're going to love how they feel, drinking their Shakeology, getting their workout in, and just being on top of the world. And they're not going to want it to stop. They want to continue. And so the natural progression is they're going to be open-minded to possibly becoming a coach on your team. And so I beg you to really think about that. If it's something that's uncomfortable to you right now, maybe it's because you have not really dug your heels into building a relationship and getting to know that person. Okay? And so the next thing I want to do, the call to action for today, is going to be this. Begin to look at your challengers differently. From today forward, begin to look at them as the future coaches on your team, the future of your team. That's pretty powerful. I mean, I say that and it's a lot. It's loaded because it's the truth. And if the way to do that also is to start to tweak your focus when it comes to your challenge groups. A lot of times, coaches are really afraid to run challenge groups because they feel like they don't know enough. They don't feel like they're not going to say the right thing. They're not going to do the right thing. They don't have the results to back it up. Who's going to be inspired by me? Who's going to follow me? All these kinds of things, these fears that we have strolling in our head, and we're worried that are going to hold us back from really running a great challenge group. And I want to be the person, the voice today, to tell you that it's not even about you. It's about them. And when you're able to focus less on you and more on them, you're going to have a successful challenge group. What do I mean by that? The person is already there because they are already inspired by you. They already joined you. They already trusted you and bought the challenge bag and decided to work with you. Your job now is not to continue to find a way to impress them, but your job is now to turn your focus on them. How can you help them? How can you motivate them? How can you elevate them? How can you hold them accountable in a way that's going to keep them successful and on their toes? And what I found is that the best way is to constantly make them feel like you're in the trenches with them. You're right there getting your workout in. You're right there meal planning with them. You're right there drinking your Shakeology once a day and not letting up. When it's less about you and your focus is more on them, not only is it going to alleviate the pressure of you feeling like you have to be any kind of perfection, but that's where they're going to really feel like this person is invested in me and wants me to succeed. And that's going to make all the difference when it comes to your challenge groups and the way your challengers feel. So begin to look at them differently. They are your future. Carl Deichler said this one time at a Super Saturday, and I thought it was pretty golden, and I want to share it with you. He says, no matter if you've been a coach for 5 days, 5 weeks, or 5 years, always remain in phase 1 of coaching. And that means that phase 1 of coaching is bringing in new customers to your business, helping those customers get results, and then in turn helping them help others. We are real people, we get real results, and we're just people helping people. It's nobody that's any kind of expert or nutritionist or this or that. We're just being ourselves and really investing in helping others along the way. And so when you can stay in phase 1 of coaching, I think that it just alleviates all the pressure of perfection and anything that you think a challenge group should consist of. And what you're doing is just grooming the future of your team of people not giving up and working together, that togetherness. All right, so I devised this 3-step system to a business building challenge group because I believe that should be the intent behind all of your challenge groups from here forward. How can I build my business with my challenge group? Well, the first thing is always keep a running list of all customers, okay, that are in your challenge. These are kind of like the challengers that you need to watch because chances are you're gonna have people that buy a challenge pack from you. It's gonna get shipped to their home. It's gonna sit on their kitchen counter for about 2 to 3 weeks and they're never gonna open it. It's gonna happen, I promise. The key is to understand that that's not a reflection of you. And you cannot drain yourself worried about why Susie bought a challenge pack and has not started. Where did I go wrong? Why is she not inspired to get moving? Today, I want to tell you that you cannot focus on that, and you need to learn to focus on the person that is putting skin in the game, that is showing up, and that does want to make the change. It's not that Susie's not great, it just means Susie's not ready yet. And your job is to continue working hard and continue being the support system for the people that are ready, and when that other person is ready to show up and put the work in, you're ready to go too. But all the meanwhile, you need to focus on and hone in on the people that are putting skin in the game and really working hard when it comes to their own fitness. Because those are the people that are going to be the future of your team, like we said. And so by keeping this list of customers, it's going to be easy for you to track who those people are. You have a constant reminder of who you should be focused on. Personally, I always highlight the ones that are like Johnny Honest, that are always posting, and I'm sure to at least every 2 to 3 days, private message them aside from my challenge group. Just making sure that they're okay and they have no questions or concerns or anything like that, and that they're happy. When you have pinpointed those people that are really invested in making a change, you want to then begin to plant seeds early on, okay? And that means affirming them from day one that they're doing the right thing, that they're great, that in motivating them to keep striving and to keep working hard. And so I think that the other key to this is it's learning to celebrate all of the successes that you see happening around you in your challenge group. Whether it's someone that confides in you that they dropped a jean size, or someone that's already down 5 pounds, or someone that got home really late, like at 9:30 at night after a long day of work and barely put food on the table and still has to push play. You know, you are out there highlighting them and putting the focus on them pushing through. Celebrating success is a lot like what we do as coaches, right? We do this in our team pages. And so if you can begin that happening at the challenge group level, you're going to be empowering your challengers from very early on, feeling like they have the confidence to do this. And once they have the confidence to lead themselves, what comes right after that is the confidence to lead others. And so what you'll start to see oftentimes in your challenge groups is there's going to be these certain challengers that make your life so much easier. It feels like they're doing your job for you. They're posting motivational quotes. They're putting all these amazing recipes. They are getting really creative with their Shakeology. You know what I like to do to those people? I like to private message them and kind of appoint them leadership roles and say, well, listen, tomorrow I've got a field trip with my son. I'm going to be so tied up. I was wondering if you mind being like, leading the group tomorrow, because I'm going to be so checked out with my son's field trip. And you've been so Johnny on it the whole time. In fact, you keep me on my toes. I would love for you to take the reins for tomorrow and lead the group. And they're going to feel empowered. They're going to feel flattered. And they're going to have that dose of confidence to keep going. It's going to also keep, it's going to fuel their fire in their own journey. And so those are the different things that you can do to plant seeds early on and start to groom someone to being a coach, because they don't even realize it. They're doing what we do as coaches, right? And so the last step to this 3-step system is to identify the 2 to 3 week sweet spot. Personally, I use a desk calendar and I mark whenever we're hitting week 3 of any of my challenges. I sometimes have 2 to 3 challenges running at one time, so it's very important for me to keep these details on my calendar, because this 2 to 3 week sweet spot, if missed, you can miss the opportunity of converting a customer to a coach. And so what is a sweet spot? It's the follow-up time. It's where in the next week or so, their Shakeology is going to shift because they're going to hit the 30-day mark. And this is where it's time for you to talk to them and kind of follow up and say, well, where are you at? How are you liking it? How's Shakeology going for you? Are you able to follow the meal plan? Are you struggling with it? How are the workouts? Are you getting them in? And when you do that follow-up and you show them that you have a plan for them from there forward, and you're really organized enough to check up on them and be on your game, to me, it shows them that you're committed. You're committed, and again, it's that trust factor of you being their coach that they're going to be willing to take the next step with you. And so what's the next step? Well, I always give them their options, okay? When I'm talking to these challengers at the 3-week mark, I ask them, well, do you want to continue? If it's a 21-day fixed challenge group, it's even more perfect because it's the end of a challenge and they've got their results. They know what it feels like to get through one round, and you can offer them to join you for a second round. Sometimes when you get to this point, if that's the time to ask them if they like Shakeology, if they feel like they're going to continue on with Shakeology, because if they are, then we can then proceed to offer them the 25% discount membership as a coach, where they can reap the benefits of the discount and they don't have to do absolutely any business building if they choose not. But I'll tell you what, in most of my challenge groups, the way it goes is with number 3. Number 3 is become a coach under my mentorship. And the way that works out is because by the time I'm asking them, how's it going? Are you getting results? Are you drinking your Shakeology? Are you pushing play? I already know the ones that have been committed to my challenge group. And chances are they have friends, family, coworkers, people around them that have already been asking questions. And they're like, yes, I've been meaning to ask you. How can I do this? Where do I sign up? And will you help me? How does it work from thereafter? Once I sign up as a coach, are you going to be there? Are you going to teach me what to do next? And so more often than not, before even signing up a discount coach or having a challenger go for a second round, I sign up a coach ready to work the business because they've already been bleeding that Beachbody blue. They have results. They feel good. They look good, and they don't want it to stop. And they're ready to share it with others. And so those are the different tips I have for you today on how to convert a customer to a coach. But the biggest thing that I think I want you to walk away understanding right now, is that challenge groups are your funnel to the business, and it's the sure shot way to make sure that your customers really have a feel for what this business is all about. And this business is not only about fitness and nutrition. It's about feeling like you're part of something, feeling like there's a solution, a place for you, and that you can get fit and healthy even from your own home, no matter what your circumstances are. And so when you're able to package all of that up into a group and make someone feel comfortable and a part of a bigger plan and a bigger thing than them, people are going to stick around with you and they're going to want to continue to be in your team. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope that's helpful. And if you have any questions or concerns, or you want me to really dig deeper on anything that I talked about today, please post it below and I'll be sure to get to those questions. And if not, I would like for you to share with me when your next challenge group will start. Post below when your next challenge group will be forming. And I hope that you decide to implement everything that I've taught you today to start building your team of coaches through challenge groups. All right, guys, have a great day.